Hey guys, we are back at Starlight Drive-In, and today we're going to be working on an operator stronghold directly across from Pack Tower. Now, if you remember from the last video, Starlight is going to be jointly controlled by the Pack and the operators as they work together, conquering the Commonwealth. And as much as the operators love their caps, I figured the first thing they'll do, at least in the first settlement that they build, they're going to have some sort of secure area where they can store any valuables they might find, and that's what we're working on right now. So you can see the first thing I did was clear away a bunch of the countertops as well as some of the junk in here. Now I'm just going to be working on filling in these gaps using the select all glitch. I really like using that ashtray because it clips to the ground. I don't really need to sink anything in, so I didn't need to use the pillar right there. I will be using the pillar later on, and you'll see that. Yeah, not exactly sure what's keeping this from going green and letting me put it in the wall, but I don't know. I start deleting a few things and it eventually goes in. And you can see the some of the other gaps there are not going to be on straightaways, so I'm not going to be able to use these full-size walls. I did download a mod. I can't remember the name of it right now, but I will link it in the description. And it basically gives you half walls as well as boards for windows and stuff like that. And the clipping's really generous, so you can kind of finagle it in there. Now they are thinner, so you will actually have to use 2 of those pieces per gap, but it will you will eventually be able to get it in there. And I'm not going to show you all of those just because it's the same thing over and over again, and you don't necessarily need to sit here and watch me do all of that. I think here, oh, there we go, finally. Come on. Now you're going to notice some of the beams clipping through the wall there, and I'm actually going to be putting some shelving units in front of that, so you're not actually going to be able to see that clipping in, so it's just fine. And it looks good from the outside, so cool. So here we go with the, there they are, the smaller pieces that are actually going to fit in those other gaps, and you'll see how generous the collision is there. Of course, I got it. You don't want to be too close to whatever object you're using select all on. You want to make sure that it doesn't interfere with the placement of it. There we go. Come on. Yeah, sometimes you just have to move stuff around just to get it in. Yeah, I have to delete that anyway. There we go. Perfect. So you can see there, it does only cover half of it, so we're going to have to go ahead and slap another one on there, but that's not that big of a deal. And it looks fine from the outside. Now I just got to get this other piece in there, and you'll see they actually clip together really, really nice, and it looks like one solid piece. There are a few of them that kind of overlaps a little bit, but it's not too bad. Alright, so here we go. All the pieces are in. Nice and secure, all the way around. I'm really liking the way this turned out. That corrugated steel really gives it a secure feel. Closes up all the gaps. Pretty nice. And that's a really nice space in there. Just enough space to hold all the valuables. Now the next step is going to be securing that entryway. So I think one of these electric doors, and then of course we'll use the select all glitch to squeeze that in between the walls. And you can use the flooring here with the checkered pattern. Creates a great line, so you can just get that wall nice and straight. And see what I did there? I moved it a little too close. So you're going to have too narrow of an entryway. It just doesn't feel right. Plus the what is it? The wall glitches through there just a little too much. I'm not 100% happy with that. You can see they're not being patient and just, we'll give it a try. Here's another cool glitch. This is the wire glitch here. If you grab the wire right up against the conduit, it actually allows you to glitch that wire pretty much through anything. And I believe it works over any distance as well. You can see here me thinking, no, that's not going to work. Just a little too narrow. So we're going to go ahead and give that another try. Push that wall back just a little bit, give us a little more space, and also keep the door from glitching into the beams overhead. There we go. What is that, about a square and a half? That should do it. See? No clipping. Perfect. So here we go. Have to build that stupid generator again. I don't know why I keep deleting it. And then you just grab the wire and bring it right through the wall. Look at that. Nice and secure. We'll have to put a switch on that later. And look at that space. Alright, so in this entryway here, I'm going to place a guard. So for that guard, we're going to have to give them a little place they can relax, a little table for eating meals on, and you can see there with the stairs in the way, the hitbox on the table won't let me put it underneath there, so I figure a rug would help. What I didn't take into account was that the hitbox on the rug will also be in the way. So I have to use two rugs and angle it a little bit. Then it fits in there just fine. Now you can see when I remove the rug, the table's going to drop down a little bit, but it still looks fine. See? There you go. Yeah, it's alright. A little shorter, but it's going to be alright. Now we got to find a chair, and my go-to is always going to be thematic and practical. That's one of the best mods out there, but it doesn't quite fit the theme of the operators. They do like nice things, so I think one of the vanilla chairs will probably work better. And I actually find one that matches the table. So, small victories. So next up is going to be power for the door. We need to put a switch in there so the guard can flip that on and off. A little extra security. And always going to have someone stationed there to protect the valuables. So I'm going to go ahead and add that switch there on the wall and actually run a conduit up so that the wire can be buried in the ceiling. You're still going to see it somewhat, but that's fine. I mean, it is the apocalypse after all, and they're living in a rundown drive-in, so can't be too choosy. Now you can see there it glitches right through, but I don't quite like that placement, so I'm going to end up moving that up a bit. Get the wire a little more buried. Oh, you still are, again, you're still going to be able to see it, but it's not that big of a deal. There it is. See, a little bit less visible. So now let's close off the front a little bit, or at least part of the front. We still want to have an entryway. And we're going to use these shack walls here that already have the roofs attached. It's going to simplify the build a little bit and close it off so we can have a nice little alcove for the exterior guards so they can, relax and cook a meal or something. So you can see there how I sink them into the ground a little bit, and it actually gets rid of the wood texture. There is going to be an awful lot of wood in the rest of this build, and so that broken up concrete, it just, I don't know, it rounds out the textures you're seeing, keeps it from being boring. And my original plan, you can see there, that's the exact same wall piece. We want to use the other one. Again, slightly different texture, especially when you're using the corrugated steel. It all kind of starts blending in, and you don't want the structure to look boring. There should always be something interesting to look at. So just getting the height right there. Cool. Closed off nicely. Now I still have to put one piece to join the wall to that pillar. We'll just throw on these end caps and move on to that. Alright, now to finish off that alcove, we're actually going to use a junk wall from the Homemaker mod. And it's a little bit different of a texture. It also doesn't have a roof attached to it, which would be redundant, seeing as, it's already completely covered. So we're just going to use the pillar to sink that down in there and get it lined up right to minimize the gap at the top. Perfect. And you can see there is still a little bit of a gap on that left side. And we're going to go ahead and use the same corrugated steel we put in the bank to just cover that up really quick. It did give me a little bit of trouble, but I think the main reason for that was that the pillar was a little too close to the steel that I was trying to, glitch in. So just keep that in mind when you're trying to replicate that, or if you try to replicate that. But I do eventually get it in there. Yeah, even there, it's not working. I think I have to get it in on the other side. That pillar just sticks out a little bit too much. So move over here and it slots right in. More or less, anyway. See, there you go. Perfect. So here we go. This is the completed alcove. Now you can see here, I haven't put a lot of junk decoration into this, but there is a little bit. Got a cooking station over there, a couple relaxation areas, and of course, the operator colors. Let's take a look inside. So here we have our guard on duty, controlling the button and access into the vault. Have a little bit of food set out and some jet there for the long days of guard duty. And flip the switch and take a look inside. So here we go. All the different valuables and things you would need in the apocalypse. And to satisfy your greed, of course. Some caps there, as well as some gold bars and silver bars and more caps. And I placed all of those items down individually. It took me forever. That's why there's not a lot of other junk decoration. Now these next two shelves come from a mod called It Yourshelf. It actually lets you build shelves, and then you can snap items to those shelves. Saves a ton of time. This shelf is like that as well. Of course, got a lot of ammo. They are trying to take over the Commonwealth. And then these next two shelves, I actually placed these items down individually as well. Some chems and cigarettes, of course, as well as some stealth boys for the battles ahead. Then we head out here and head up to this landing, and we have a little bit more decoration, some more weaponry and ammo, just in case they get attacked. If you like this video, go ahead and leave a like. Subscribe if you want to be notified when my next video goes live. I think we're going to continue here at Starlight, although at some point I will have to start my Oberland Station Minuteman build. Hopefully that'll be coming in the next couple of weeks. I look forward to seeing you guys in the next one, and until then, enjoy your time in the Commonwealth.